Hi, my name is ðonne and I'm doing a series on the Old English and Northumbrian runes. The next rune in the series is GER, or year, which means the harvest. So this is one form of the rune, and as I mentioned in the previous video, you can see that this has rotational symmetry. So there's no reversed meaning if you go in for reversed meanings, and this is another form of the rune, and I think normally I didn't quite draw it right because I think you can put the diamond shape in the middle, in which case this other form would also have rotational symmetry. And this one recalls the shape of a maypole with the crown of flowers at the top. The type of maypole that's traditional in the Netherlands anyway. But yeah, this is one form, that's the other form. So the harvest would have been incredibly important to the Old English because over the winter they would have had to eat stored food that wasn't fresh, so they would have had a lot of dried fruit and dried grain, which may, might have gone a bit musty if it wasn't stored properly, and food was generally running short by the end of the winter. So when the harvest came and you had fresh fruit and fresh wheat and fresh barley and rye and all those things, it was a time of great relief and great plenty, and then of course you had to start the whole process of storage all over again. So I live in Canada, where most older houses like this one have a root cellar as part of the basement, and the root cellar was where you stored all your potatoes and your turnips and your parsnips and whatever else you had, and we have a root cellar in our basement. It's kind of dank, but it is there. So but it makes you think back to a time where before refrigeration and before food could be stored and transported over great distances, and you were reliant on whatever the local produce was. And if you've ever tried to eat local, it gets pretty dull around February and March when all there is to eat is root vegetables and cabbages and stuff. So spare a thought for the Old English and their food problems. So yeah, if you get this rune in a reading, it means that harvest is coming to you. It's also about cycles and cyclicity, because the two bits of the rune, you can imagine that those are rotating around each other. The animation on this video is really high tech, right? It's amazing, look at that. But yeah, and you can also see the same principle, only slightly more static, on the other version of the rune as well. So like it embodies cycles as well as harvest. So if you encounter it in a reading, it may mean something like you've got harvest coming, or there's change and growth about to occur, but change and growth in a positive way, as opposed to the kind of change you don't want to see. Obviously change is always scary, but this is about positive change, and let's hope that harvest can continue to mean a positive change for many years to come. And that's about it for this rune. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.